Y'all, y'all already know I always forget to record. Somebody has to remind me. I remembered this time. Okay, so the book of David and Goliath starts off in Samuel, the book of the first book of Samuel, line 17, starting at 17. Like I said, it does not matter if you do not have the Bible, if you do or don't, because I'm just going to be reading a little bit from it. Okay. Now, I need to paint a picture for you. So essentially, this was war, okay, between two powerful armies. We'll keep it very simple. We won't talk about the politics. People, they were at war. Okay. So the Philistines gathered their forces for war at Soko in Judah, encamped between Soko and Azekah, sorry, and Ephes Dammim. King Saul, and the men of Israel gathered and camped in the valley of Elah, and they lined up in battle formation to face the Philistines. Uh-oh, where do we go? Sorry, I heard a noise. Did y'all hear that? Okay, I'll stop. The Philistines were standing on one hill, and the Israelites were standing on another hill, with the ravine between them. Then a champion named Goliath from Gath came out from the Philistine camp. He was 9 feet, 9 inches tall, and wore a bronze helmet and bronze scale armor that weighed 125 pounds. Okay, 9 feet tall, 9 inches. Are you kidding me? That was a big dude. Dude was bigger than Shaq, y'all. Just saying. Now, there was bronze armor on his shins, and a bronze sword was slung between his shoulders. His spear shaft was like a weaver's beam, and the iron point of his spear weighed 15 pounds. In addition, a shield bearer was walking in front of him. Understand this. This man, not only was he huge, not only did he have heavy armor, okay, he also had protection too. So just imagine this. I'm painting this picture for you to imagine who Goliath was and why David winning against this man is just so critical. Okay. Also, while I'm talking about Goliath, think of the Goliaths in your life. Okay. So he stood and shouted to the Israelite battle formations. Why do you come out to line up in battle formation? He asked them. Am I not a Philistine, and are you not servants of Saul? Choose one of your men and have them come up against me. If he wins in a fight against me and kills me, we will be your servants. But if I win against him and kill him, then you will be our servants and serve us. Then the Philistine said, I defy the ranks of Israel today. Send me a man so we can fight each other. When Saul and all of Israel heard these words from the Philistine, they lost their courage and were terrified. Of course, they were terrified. The man was 9 foot tall, 9 inches. I'm terrified. We all face shit that seems bigger than us. That is bigger than us. But we have to make sure that we have courage, right? And that we don't back down. There's been many times where I've been met with a huge ass bully about to get my ass kicked, but I couldn't stand down. I had to be like, okay, I'll just take this ass whooping, but you're going to work for my blood, believe it or not. Moving on. Keep in mind, you got a big ass man. He is now taunting the other people, intimidating the other people like he's supposed to do. This is war. Okay. Now, here comes David. Now, and I'm on 17:12. Now, David was the son of a Ephrathite from Bethlehem of Judah named Jesse. Jesse had 8 sons during Saul's reign and was already an old man. Jesse's 3 old sons had followed Saul to the war, and their eyes were Eliab, the firstborn, Abinab, the next, and Shammah, the third. Okay, first of all, just painting that picture for you. Okay. He had many brothers, okay, and he was the youngest out of all of them. Super important. Keep that in mind. The most youngest, the most inexperienced, okay? Now, Jonathan spoke Oh, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, I was intimidated by how large this motherfucker was. Excuse my French. So David was the youngest. The three oldest had followed Saul, but David kept going back and forth from Saul to tend to his father's flock in Bethlehem. So he was also a shepherd. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and skip to the part where essentially things pop off and he stands up against the Palestinians. Okay. I mean, against Goliath. Okay. Now, so David got up early in the morning, left the flock with someone to keep it, loaded up to set out, as Jesse had instructed him. Okay. Now, he arrived at the perimeter. Keep in mind, he didn't come for war. He actually was responsible for taking food to these people. Okay. So David got up early in the morning, left the flock with someone to keep it, loaded up, set out, and Jesse had instructed him. He arrived at the perimeter of the camp as the army was marching out to its battle formation, shouting their battle cry. Israel and the Palestinians lined up in battle formation facing each other. David left his supplies in the care of the quartermaster and ran to the battle line. Oops, what a deviation. When he arrived, he asked the brothers how they were while he was speaking with him. Suddenly, the champion named Goliath, the Philistine from Gath, came forward from the Philistine battle line and shouted his usual words, taunting again, which David heard. When all the Israelite men saw Goliath, they retreated from him terrified. Normal. Previously, an Israelite man had declared, "Do you see this man who keeps coming out? He comes to defy Israel. The king will make the man who kills him very rich and will give him his daughter. The king will also make the household of that man, father, exempt from paying taxes in Israel." David spoke to the men who were standing with him. What will be done for the man who kills the Philistine and removes disgrace from Israel? Just who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of living God? And the people told him about the offer, concluding, that is what will be done for the man who kills him. Okay. Now keep in mind, this was a handsome offer and people still weren't ready to go. Okay. So he rose to the occasion. This was something that he wanted to do. Okay. Skipping to 38. Then Saul had his own military clothes put on David. He put bronze helmet on David's head and had him put on armor. David strapped his sword on over the military clothes and tried to walk, but he was not used to them. I can't walk in these. I'm not used to them. So you know what David does? He took off his armor. You have to understand. You're taking off your armor. You're on your way to walk and try to defeat this 9-foot man. Okay. You're already at a disadvantage, or so people would think logically, because you've already taken your armor off. You're already tiny. You're a tiny little shit. Now on top of that, you're going to take your armor off. Okay, you're going to leave yourself completely exposed. Right off the bat, we know that this man was walking in faith. Okay, right off the bat, he still believed in himself, regardless of what logic said. Okay, he felt that. The high priestess feels. She comes with a knowing. Okay. And this is how we must be in our belief systems. She knows because she has been shown. Okay. So she has faith instead of hope. She doesn't hope she wins. She knows because she has that faith. Moving on. Now, I'm not used to them. So David took them off. Instead, he took his staff in his hand and chose 5 smooth stones from the wadi and put them in a pouch in his shepherd's bag. Then with his sling in his hand, he approached the Philistine. Philistine came closer and closer to David with the shield bearer in front of him. When the Philistine looked and saw David, he despised him because he was just youth, healthy, and handsome. Okay, he didn't look like much. The hell come on, can you guys send me a worthy opponent here? You got this kid about to go into his death, walking in like a lamb to the slaughter. Come on, give me somebody for real who can fight me. This is the mindset of Goliath, okay? He said to David, "Am I a dog that you come against me with sticks?" Then he cursed David by his gods. Big mistake. Come here, the Philistine called to David, and I'll give your flesh to the birds of the sky and the wild beasts. This man was just so solid in his faith of knowing that he was going to beat somebody because he was 9 foot with heavy artillery, right? He just knew in his heart that he was about to whip this boy, kill this boy. Anyway, David said to the Philistine, you come against me with a dagger, spear, and a sword, but I come against you in the name of Yahweh. Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel armies, you have defied him. Today the Lord will hand you over to me. Today I'll strike you down, cut your head off, and give the corpses of the Philistine camp to the birds of the sky and the creatures of the earth. And then all the world will know that Israel has a God, and those who this whole assembly, will know that it is not by the sword, or by the spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's. He will hand you over to us. How many times have you heard, give it to God? Right? And then you give it to whoever you believe in. It doesn't necessarily have to be God. I'm hoodoo, so I'm heavy in those Christian pantheons, man. Give it to God. Right? Sometimes we forget how much the Creator has done for us, especially when we're facing opposition, especially with the obstacles, right? We forget that we're still alive and we still have accumulated many blessings. They might not have been the ones that we wanted exactly, right? But his promise is pretty clear. He's given you things to work with, right? Might not always be the best in your eyes, but we don't have to overcomplicate it. We can't see as far as God. Some of us, it takes a while to even understand. We don't begin to understand the orchestration of our lives until after it happens. Right? How many times were you guys in a pickle and you guys thought, oh, this is shit. I'm never going to get out of it. It's over. And then you look back on the moments that you felt that way and you're like, damn, I got out of that. That's the promise. Right? And we forget that when we face more opposition, we shrink, we get afraid, like the army in the Philistine, right? Forgetting how many times we've overcome those obstacles. Moving on. Sorry. Moving on. Now, when the Philistines started forward to attack him, David ran quickly to the battle line to meet the Philistine. Could you imagine his tiny ass running through the army, running to his death, essentially, because that's how everybody else was looking at it, okay? David ran quickly to the battle line to meet the Philistine. David put his hand in the bag, took out the stone, and slung it, and hit the Philistine on his forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell on his face to the ground. David defeated the Philistine with a sling and stone. Even though David had no sword, he struck down the Philistine and killed him. Okay. David ran and stood over him. He grabbed the Philistine's sword, pulled it from his sheath, and used it to kill him. I will not go into detail about what he did after that. Okay. He said exactly what the hell he said he was going to do, though. Okay. This is war. Yes. Finish him like Mortal Kombat. Finish him. He finished him. He put him out of his misery. Shit, I wouldn't want to be 9 feet tall, getting defeated by a little guy. Yeah, put me out of my misery. I'm never gonna live this shit down. David did him a service. Well, let's talk about this let's talk about this a little bit more. We'll go into this, we'll dissect this, just a little bit more. Okay. Many questions here. The first thing I would probably go into, right? I wrote down a lot of stuff, by the way. And I didn't get the pleasure either of like preparing a week ahead. I never get the message. I get it literally at the last minute. I'm like, oh, thanks. I would have loved to have been more organized, but anyway, wrote down a lot of stuff. So, many lessons from this. Okay. What were, I guess, the first questions that I would ask, and you all can think about this within yourself, but I'm going to go ahead and answer them so, we can figure out the story for ourselves. What were the characteristics and strengths of Goliath, and how did he intimidate the Israelites? Guys, I went on and on and on about his physical stature, right? He was declared a giant. He was enormous. I went on and on about the armor and the weaponry. Okay. He was also a champion of the Philistines, right? And then on top of that, his big behind was also verbal, taunting, and intimidating. Okay. He would come forward and mock the Israelites. And like normal, they would shrink. The guy's huge. This is normal shit. It's okay to be afraid, right? It's okay to be afraid. But it's not always okay to run. Just throwing that out there, no judgment. Okay. So we answer that question, then we go into understanding who Goliath was, a young man. Okay. Right. The youngest. He was a shepherd. Okay. He wasn't trained in the military. Okay. So we got two polar opposites here. Now, speaking of opposites, let's talk about why do we think, and think this for yourself, I'll read this out loud. Why do you think David was the only one willing to face Goliath? What qualities or beliefs do you think he possessed? And when I answer this question, it's good shit. You'll understand why I'm making the distinct difference between the high priestess and the Hierophant. You'll understand why I'm making the distinct differences between the elders and the newbies. Because there is a difference. And these differences aren't meant to say, well, we're better than you, or no. It's to talk about the differences. Okay. And to understand that you're not supposed to be like the elders. Things evolve. Right? Moving on. Why do you think David was the only one willing to face Goliath? What qualities or beliefs do you think he possessed? And I want you to think of each and every time you thought that you wanted to do something within the spiritual community and there was somebody right behind you telling you no because of karma, because of this, because of that. Just fear mongering. Okay. I'm going to ask the question again. Why do you think David was the only one willing to face Goliath? What qualities or beliefs do you think he possessed? All right, let's talk about it. Faith in God, number one. He had faith, okay? Deep faith in God's power and his protection. He knew right off the bat that the power really didn't come from him. He was the conduit. Power came from God, passed on to him, which is what a lot of people who have this experience in this industry, in this community, they forget that lesson. That the power does not come from them. The power is given from the Creator, God, Yahweh, okay? The universe. Yes, past experience with God fueled his faith then. Yep, that's it. You got it. Heavy lesson, faith in God, okay? Because honestly, with this faith in God, first of all, we don't know what everybody's spiritual ranking is. There's a reason why somebody who's voodoo, right? Somebody can go through Kanzo and still not be received by the law. Did y'all know that? And that's just an example. I mean, you can apply that to any other religion. There's a reason why some people can go through Kanzo and still not be received by the Lua versus somebody who is just born and there's a promise to them and they wake up with no experience whatsoever and they're making things shake. There's a thing called spiritual ranking for a reason, which is why we don't really involve ourselves in other people's affairs, because we don't know what their path is, what the promise is for them. This is another lesson that we experienced practitioners forget. And we don't understand that with this lesson comes that forgetting this lesson brings division. Moving on. Courage and confidence, okay? David's courage and confidence stem from his trust in God, okay? That's a simple one. Simple one. But here's my favorite one. Youthful enthusiasm. He was young. Sure, you could say he was young and dumb, sure, young and inexperienced. When he had to fight a bear before and a lion as a shepherd boy, he saw that Most High was willing and capable to assist him. He was brave, got that shit right. Which, by the way, we could have a whole class on David and where he came from. But Ashley made a really good point. As a shepherd, he fought a bear. As a shepherd, he fought a lion to protect his flock. There was the promise. God had already proven to him that he was protected. How could he be down? How many times have you guys gone into danger thinking that you weren't protected and found out that you were protected, that you were covered? Pretty sure I'm talking to a lot of people who have made some reckless decisions and shouldn't even be here right now. That's okay. We're happy to have you. Welcome. Love you. Moving on. Back to the youthful enthusiasm. People are very quick to, because you're young, you must be dumb. Big mistake. We all started out young. And to be honest, in your youth, before you are tainted by the many injustices in life, you are able to grasp things easier. There's a reason why children can learn a language easier than an adult can. Children have emptier cups that can be filled. See, if you are big and bad and you think that you don't have anything else to learn, you've already lost, because everything evolves. This is the promise of the youth. I speak to you all as though you are the youth. You are starting in the middle, right? No matter where you are the promise. Regardless of who tells you you aren't. And I don't care if they're as experienced as me or as experienced as somebody else you look to and aspire to. They don't know your promise. You all have promise, just like David did. And you bring fresh things to the mix. You bridge, okay? You take tradition and you combine it with modern alchemy. That's the promise. Evolution. Moving on. Strong sense of righteousness. If you don't think that you're in the right when you're doing something, right? This is the quality of David had. Strong strength of righteousness. If you are in the middle of doing something, you do not believe in it, you can't expect for it to pan out. If David didn't think that he could fight that giant, he probably would have died. And there are studies that show people who, if you believe something is going to happen, well, you're the master of that reality. If you believe you're going to stand up and face opposition and you're not going to triumph, honey, you've already did yourself a disservice. How many of you have asked the question in group? I know some of you guys come from the group. How many of you, there's a lot of questions about protection. I feel like somebody has hecked me. I feel like somebody has done this. I feel like somebody has done that. Well, guess what? You have already put yourself at a disadvantage because you believe that you are capable of being hexed, of being attacked. You have just admitted to me that you have not put yourself in a strong position to absorb these attacks and use them to your advantage. Does that make sense? Drop an emoji down, because I know a lot of us ask about those protection spells and hexes and shit like that. Drop an emoji if that's making sense, what I'm telling you. Thank you. Thank you, Rita. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, moving on. Personal relationship with God, right? He had that personal relationship with God. And that's right back to what I was telling you. We were talking about Zacchaeus, okay? Your spiritual hygiene, okay? It's hard to believe in something that you are not nurturing, right? So having that strong relationship with God, the creator, whomever you want to put a name towards, they're one and the same. They're one and the same. He was able to have that personal relationship with God through his life experiences as a shepherd, okay? Him fighting that tiger, not tiger, him fighting that lion, fighting that bear, solidified his faith in God, gave him reassurance. There are plenty of lions and bears that you have fought in your life that you have overcome. Yet, we walk into the next season intimidated as hell, ready to run. But the promise is simple. We don't have to overcomplicate it. Well, we're humans, we're going to do that, but try not to. Moving on. Let's talk about, once again, going back into the community, being a beginner or not having as much experience as other people. Excuse my squeaky chair. Let's talk about how did David respond to the doubts and criticism from his family and King Saul, and what can be learned from his actions, okay? First, he received doubts and criticism from his family, okay? When he expressed a willingness to fight Goliath, they thought that he was out of his mind and that he was not capable. Think of all the people who tell you that you're not capable of doing something, that it's not okay, or that it's not your path. Oh gosh, the arrogance to just come out out of the woodwork, not even knowing a person and telling them what they cannot do. Can you guys tell the shit that bothers me as a practitioner? Ain't pulled one fucking card, ain't smoked a cigar or drank a shot of whiskey with the damn ancestors. And you already coming out the woodwork telling a bunch of motherfuckers what they can and cannot do. Remember, I cuss, my shit is real. Okay? Moving on. Yeah, out the woodwork, don't even know. Pull some cards on it, divine on it. Don't tell me what I can and cannot do. Moving on. Okay. He remained steadfast and he focused on the task at hand. Focus. I hate to snap. Focus. 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 We don't give a shit about what the fuck they're telling us. We have a promise. We have a purpose to fulfill. If you guys join my numerology class, you know what that purpose is. We have a purpose. And if it's not aligned with that purpose, we can't hear it. We're drowning it out. Mastering the art of really not giving a shit about what people have to say, especially if they're not paying no damn bills. There's a lot of damn talking for nobody that can send me $100. The hell you talking? What are you doing? Okay, pay me $100. I might take what the hell you have to say into consideration. Don't pay none of my bills. Got so much damn shit to say about what I shouldn't and shouldn't be doing. Need to be focusing on yourself, right? Everybody gonna tell you what the hell you can and cannot do. And that is just a reflection of their own self-limitation. That is a reflection of their mother and father who told them that they couldn't. That is a reflection of a teacher who told them they wouldn't be. Assume that every single time you are meeting opposition in the way that you are meeting it, okay, there's a difference. I think we both know the difference between criticism, constructive criticism coming from somebody who is constructive versus constructive criticism coming from somebody who does nothing but tear down. There is a difference, right? Your heart can tell what's coming from love and what's coming from self-limitation, right? So he was steadfast and he focused on the task at hand. He did not let the disapproval of his family deter him from his calling. Stand solid in your shit. If you believe, if you understand what you are supposed to do, why the hell does it matter what anyone else is telling you? It does not. It does not. Either support me or get the hell out of my way. Very simple. And this is how you get through the people. People will do the work for you. Y'all be worried about who's against you and who's for you, stuff like that. They do the work for you if you pay attention. Okay? Self-limitation, just understand the difference between somebody placing limits on you due to their trauma, right? Versus somebody who's saying, okay, maybe you should see it from that. Because the reality of the situation is that's really just not the appropriate way. The appropriate way is, here's the fucking information. If I were you, my experience, I did this. However, your path is different. Here's the information though. Right? So people don't understand that the withholding of information is the reason why people are out here hurting themselves. People think it's, oh, let's gatekeep and let's hanker down. But you don't understand. The more you do that, you remember being a child. You remember being a child. You remember your parents telling you not to fucking do something. And the number one reason why they told you not to do something, it's because I'm grown. What type of fucking answer is that? It's because I'm grown? Well, I can't wait to be grown then, because then I can do whatever the hell I want to do. Versus if you had been given the full information of it, and I can apply this to parents, to teachers, whomever, right? Because people just, they have that authority and they rest on that authority. Even though they don't understand that part of having authority is your ability to teach people how to use authority. You cannot teach people how to use authority if they don't understand what authority is, how to use it, how to get to where you can use your authority. You understand what I'm saying? Drop an emoji. I'm sorry, I'm passionate about that shit. Moving on. Doubts and criticism from King Saul. The king expressed doubt about David's ability to face Goliath due to his young age and lack of expression. However, David recounted his past experiences of overcoming threats as a shepherd and his trust in God's deliverance. He went right back to God, right back to his experiences, right? Another thing he did was he chose to rely on God's strength. Once again, going right back into having that experience with God, which we all do, creator, whomever, right? And then taking action by faith. That's the last one that I could think of. David's response to doubt and criticism was not limited to mere words. He took action. What did he do? He ran. He ran. He didn't walk. Okay, he didn't mosey on through. He ran to Goliath. He said, "What's good, homie? Yeah, I'm probably scared shitless. You probably can't rock my shit. And I'm standing up for what I believe in. I'm standing up for my promise. This is mine." Right? So we had Goliath. He relied on his armor, his stature, and all that shit. God relied on God's power. Not God. David relied on God's power, God's faithfulness. Huge one for me was rejection of conventional weapons. That's a huge one. Not every battle can be won with traditional methods. If you're fighting the enemy traditionally, can the enemy not predict what your moves are going to be? Think on that for a minute. If we did everything by the book, if the enemy did everything by the book, we did everything by the book, how the hell can we defeat the enemy if they know our moves? Right? His rejection of conventional weapons. And why did he reject those weapons? They weighed him down. Are you guys listening? The shit's juicy. They weighed him down. Like, wait a second. Okay, well, if everybody is familiar, okay, with the fucking hex jar. Sorry, I'm just using it as an example. I don't have a problem with jar spells. Okay, we will eventually be doing a course on those. But anyway, if everybody's method of dealing with fucking opposition was a hex jar, for example, okay, you know how to fight it. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Even the most experienced practitioner can struggle with fighting and hexing and cursing and protecting, depending on the opponent's spiritual ranking. Are you listening to me? Sometimes it's not about the years and years of experience that you have, right? You bring fresh things to the fucking mix. And I know some of the work that I've shared with some of you, you guys probably never seen it before. You're like, damn, you know? And elders used to give me shit about it so much. Shit works. You wanna know why it works? My faith in God. Knowing that it has nothing to really do with me. It has everything to do with my purpose. I'm aligned in my purpose. How can I be down? I'm not saying I'm not going to meet opposition. I'm not going to say that sometimes I'm not going to fail. I see failure differently. Just means try again, but better. Wipe the blood off your mouth, right? Spit the blood out of your mouth, wipe it off, you know. All right, that's the best you got. What did Captain America say? I can do this all day. I can. Let's go. Oops, made a mistake there. Okay, getting up. Let's go. Relentless, right? But I want to put emphasis on the rejection of conventional weapons. If everybody is doing the exact same thing, the enemy already knows what you're going to be doing. So keep that in mind, right? We are here not only because of God's grace, the Creator's grace, okay? Not only because of that, but we are here because our ancestors were tricksters. They did not fight in conventional ways. Hi, Voodoo. Nice to meet you, right? They didn't fight in traditional ways, because if they would have fought in traditional ways, we wouldn't be here. They had to be tricksters. They had to be sneaky. Some people are uncomfortable with being sneaky and being a trickster. Honey, that shit's in your blood. How do you think you got here? You got here telling everybody what your plan. You think our ancestors got here telling everybody what the hell their plans were? No, our ancestors were low radar as hell, and they were tricksters. They infiltrated. Okay, they worked the system. Okay, moving on. Yes, we must embrace that, because it's hard to embrace that because most spiritual gurus are telling you light, 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 light. Well, excuse me, plants go through darkness before they sprout to see the sun. Babies in utero see nothing but darkness for 9 months before they come out. You mean to tell me that darkness is bad? You are mistaken. Darkness is just as needed. And if we're going to tag tricksters, being, low radar, not showing your entire hand is something that is dark, then so be it. If we want to coin hoodoo as black magic, hey, I love the color black. What's good? And think about the members of the community who have tried to make you feel as though you were demonic, as though you were possessed or something was wrong with you because you wanted to, practice hoodoo, which is considered dark, even though in mentorship, I will explain hoodoo a little bit better. It wasn't as dark as people want to make it, but that's okay. Let people be ignorant. We want them ignorant. It's okay to be ignorant, more for us. Black compliment. Yeah. Compliments the waistline. It gives the illusion of power. You stand a person in black next to a person in white. There's two different types of energy. Okay. People will 9 times out of 10 approach the white one, the person who is standing in the white, because white represents purity, safety, and innocence. Black represents a lot of fucking questions. People fear what they do not understand. Moving on. Shit, I can do a whole course about that. Y'all know me and my tangents. I'm so sorry. Moving on. I'm so sorry about that. Now, with this lesson, Okay, because we're actually pretty done with it, with this lesson. I just want you all to take into consideration what the giants are in your life. I told you what the giants are that we face as a community, okay? I think I touched on that good. But think about the giants in your life, the challenges that you face, and then how can we exhibit the same faith and trust in the Creator that David demonstrated? What lessons can we draw about courage, faith, and power of God in overcoming seemingly unsurmountable obstacles? Procrastination and self-doubt are my giants. You must be very comfortable in life, Jessica. Or you just find tasks that are daunting for you. Maybe you're just sleepy. Maybe you're just tired. Procrastination is normal, absolutely normal. And it is a huge giant, okay? Huge giant. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. So that's what I got. That's the lesson for today. Oh, look at that. We got the Four of Wands. That's it. We're solid. We've got solid lessons here. Any questions, any things that I should reflect on, anything you think you should be reflecting on? This can be an open dialogue. We can unmute ourselves and we can talk. Why are you telling me? What are we getting this? Hello? You guys are so quiet. Did you fall asleep? I hope you didn't fall asleep. Well, good. Well, good. Well, good. This is all about, we started on our journey. Yep, that's right. Yes, non-conventional weapons, super critical. I'm happy that you enjoyed that. Yes, if you repeatedly think negative is definitely going to happen. That's right. That is right. Being a master of your own reality. This is why we are so attracted to these things, right? I really try not to, my teaching style is not really about the bells and the whistles, because the reality of the situation, those bells and whistles don't mean shit if your mind's not strong enough to do it, which is part of the reason why education is most important. Now, if you want somebody to, throw some candles together and make them look pretty and take pictures and shit like that, so you guys can fall in love with the visual aspects of things, I can't offer you that. But if you really want to solidify your mind, solidify your faith, because that's really where the power is. It's not in the fucking candles. It's nice to have, it helps, but the power is your spiritual ranking, and spiritual ranking is gained through favor, not through how many altars you can erect of different deities, Path of faith is not, but not glamorous. I can make you a glamorous candle, I can make it pretty, but that's not the point. Strengthen your mind, your conviction, believe in yourself. Stop giving a fuck what everybody else has to say to you. Learn how to laugh at people with opinions. Just laugh at them. Because how can you form an intelligible opinion on somebody you don't even know? How could you possibly think that what you said holds weight to me? You don't even know me. Your opinion is moot. Nice try, though. Okay. I didn't say go to a graveyard and do a curse tonight, everyone. Okay. Get a mentor. I'm always going to recommend a mentor. Mentor, if you don't have access to a mentor, lots of research, divination, things like that. He didn't consult with anyone. It's evident in the Bible that he didn't consult with anybody because he had to keep making changes in order to adjust to us. Period. That is a lesson that people really do forget. Okay. That is the lesson. So quick question. I got a question for you all. Okay. Do you guys think that I should be posting the recordings? Make it available to everybody? You guys want me to do that? Or do you want me to keep it within the group? Just curious. Just really curious. Because I'm going to be I do this, I'm going to be doing this every Sunday. It's just a really good way to start off the week. Yes, I think everyone can benefit too. Post for people that can't attend. Yeah, okay. I will start doing that. Yep. Good deal. Good deal. Just have to ask. I love it. I love it. I love that everybody wants to share the information. It's beautiful. So, if we don't have any other questions about the lesson, Hoodoo mentorship, if you guys are interested in Hoodoo mentorship, I will be hosting a discussion about it next week. Okay. I'm thinking next week, Thursday, Friday. I will be discussing that mentorship. The lesson on numerology. Oh, I'll post that. Okay, I'll share that link with you as well. That was a good one. It was 2 hours long, so I had to snatch a lot of shit out of it and just use put the meat and potatoes in there, not the damn fixings, But yeah, it was heavy. I'll upload that too. Okay, cool. I'll upload that too, so you all have access to it. Show of hands. I'm curious. Is there anybody that is not from harmonizing in here? Awesome. Ashley, it's a success. Are you in here? Your Facebook name, Ashley, is a success. Yep, you're in a different group. Welcome, by the way. Can everybody please welcome Monique and Ashley to the group? Everybody welcome them into this moment with us. Pretty please with a cherry on top. Show some love. I'm going to clap because clapping is super energy. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to us. Okay. I'm happy that you were here. I saw your message. I'm like, I hope she shows up. Makes me happy. Welcome, Monique. I'm happy that you're here. You're so very welcome, my love. You're so very welcome. I can send you an invite if you are interested, by the way, too. If you want to come into the harmonizing group. Of course, stay in the group that you're in. We're not trying to take you away, just giving you more options and stuff like that. Okay, my beautifuls, you know the drill. Okay. I have homework. Obviously, I gotta upload this lesson to the group so you guys can access it. Absolutely, I'll do that. Actually, I'm working on an app so you all have access to the app. I'm working on that. So I'll upload that. Numerology, I'm actually done editing that. So I'll go ahead and get that uploaded as well. And then I need to plan a day and share with you all when the hoodoo discussion is going to be. I wanted to have a discussion before I actually put it out there because I need to like make sure that we all understand we're on the same page about how we're really going to do this. This is going to be like this is not going to be like, oh, I can just log onto YouTube and watch a couple of videos and I'm, no, I'm actually going to teach you stuff, history, a little heavy protection magic. I'll put it under, how about this? I'll put it under, then I'll add everyone so they can find it. Okay. I'll add everyone. Y'all, please do me a favor. I know we all cannot give love donations. I was a good girl and actually put my Cash App in the video. I was a good girl. I remembered, y'all, because y'all know I suck at that shit. I did do that. However, if we cannot give love donations, which is completely explainable, I mean, not explainable, but understandable, okay? I'm not here for the money. Please, I'm here to empower everybody. That's why I'm here, okay? The money is just the bonus. If you felt like the sermon for today was good, I need you all to spread word about it. Whether that's going to be in the group, Ashley, if you felt it was good, please let them know that you thought it was good. In the other group, I like that group because they're not really gatekeepers. They actually are open. We're the exact same way in our group. So please spread word about this because eventually one day I want to be able to have 500 of you all here with guest speakers and things like that. This is starting off small. It can get bigger through each of you. Okay. So we were at 10 today. Let's try to make it 20 next week. And we'll just keep adding and adding and adding. It's all about the message, really. All right, my beautifuls. I am going to go and eat something. Y'all know I always forget to eat. I'm going to go eat some food and drink something. I didn't light up a cigarette this whole time. Did you guys notice that? I didn't light up nothing. I was really into it. I'll see you all next week. Yes. See you all next week, same time, 2:00 Central Standard Time. I love you all very much. Thank you for being here. Yes, slay the Goliath. Show them no mercy. Rise up against the enemy. Tell them to shut the hell up. You're busy. Sorry. Passionate. All right. Bye, babies.